There's something honest about a Moka pot. No screens, no filters, no batteries. Just simple engineering that's barely changed in a century. Whether you're in your kitchen on a Tuesday morning or outside your tent at sunrise, the ritual feels the same. But for all of its simplicity, the Moka pot is one of the most misunderstood brewers out there. People call it stovetop espresso, and if you treat it like one, you'll end up with a bitter, metallic tasting cup of coffee. Today, we're diving into how it really works, the physics, the water levels, and why I use the method that I use, especially when I'm camping. By the end, you won't just be making coffee, you'll be mastering a craft that works anywhere. A Moka pot has 3 chambers: the bottom boiler, the funnel-shaped basket, and the top collection chamber. As the water heats, steam builds pressure and pushes water up through the grounds and out of the central column. Now, if you've spent any time on coffee forums online, you've heard people swear by filling the base with boiling water. It's a valid method, but here's my philosophy. The Moka pot is a rugged brewer. When I'm out camping, I don't want to boil water separately or take the chance of burning my fingers trying to screw on a hot base. You can start with room temperature water and still get an incredible cup of coffee. The secret isn't the starting temperature, it's the heat control. One of the biggest mistakes is overfilling the boiler. Inside you'll see a brass safety valve. Never fill water above it. The pot needs an air pocket so pressure can build gradually. If the valve is submerged, pressure spikes too fast. And if the pot clogs, the valve can't do its job. Overfilling also leads to over-extraction in a bitter brew. Not to mention it's a safety hazard. Now for the coffee. The grind should be finer than drip coffee, but more coarse than espresso. Although most pre-ground coffee works just fine. Now here's the golden rule. Don't tamp your grounds. A packed basket forces water to channel and ruins the extraction. Just mound the grounds slightly and level them off. Screw the top on snugly. No need to crank it tight. Now for the cold start magic. Since we're using room temperature water, the instinct is to blast the heat. Don't do it. High heat scorches the dry ground before the water reaches them. Use medium-low heat. At home, that's a low burner. While camping, keep the flame within the base's diameter and set the pot off to the side so that you don't melt the handle. Wait a few minutes. The first drop should be dark and syrupy, like melted chocolate. A steady, smooth stream means your heat is perfect. If it sputters, turn the heat down. When you hear that final hiss or gurgle, remove the pot immediately. At home, I cool the base under cold water to stop the extraction process. When I'm camping, I just pour it straight into the mug. The result is a cup that sits between drip coffee and espresso, bold, rich, naturally sweet. Whether you're indoors or by the fire, the Moka pot delivers a small sense of accomplishment. It's iconic for a reason. It teaches you to listen, to respect the heat, respect the pressure, and enjoy the process.